The Kandha Rebellion, 1855–1856, also known as the Kandha Uprising, was a significant tribal revolt against British colonial rule and exploitative practices by local landlords, zamindars, in the Kandha-dominated regions of Odisha. This rebellion was part of a larger series of tribal uprisings in India during the 19th century, reflecting the resistance of indigenous communities to colonial exploitation and cultural disruption. Here is a detailed history of the Kandha Rebellion.
In the heart of Odisha's rugged hills and dense forests, a storm was brewing. A storm of resistance, courage, and an unyielding spirit. The year was 1855, and the Kandha tribe, proud and free-spirited, found themselves at war, not just for their land, but for their very way of life. This is the story of the Kandha Rebellion, a forgotten chapter in India's long struggle against colonial oppression. For centuries, the Kandha people lived in harmony with nature, practicing shifting cultivation known as podu, and following their ancient customs and rituals. But with the arrival of the British, everything began to change. The colonial rulers imposed harsh land revenue policies, seizing ancestral lands and enforcing exploitative forest laws. Local zamindars and moneylenders tightened their grip, burdening the tribes with unfair taxes and forced labor. Our lands are not ours anymore. The British take what they want, and the landlords demand more than we can give. If we do not rise now, we will be slaves in our own land. It started with swift attacks on British administrative outposts. Police stations, zamindar mansions, and moneylender houses were set ablaze. The Kandha, masters of guerrilla warfare, struck like lightning and vanished into the forest before the British could react. These savages are everywhere and nowhere at once. We must break their spirit, divide them, and crush this rebellion before it spreads further. The British responded with brutal force, sending heavily armed troops to hunt down the rebels. But the Kandha were not easy prey. They used their deep knowledge of the terrain, setting ambushes and traps, making every step dangerous for the enemy.
For over a year, the rebellion raged on. The British, frustrated and desperate, resorted to divide and rule tactics, turning some tribal factions against each other. Slowly, the resistance began to weaken. By 1856, the British had crushed the rebellion. Chakra Bisoi disappeared into the shadows of history. Some say he was captured and executed. Others believe he escaped, living in hiding. But his spirit, his defiance, lived on.
The Kandha Rebellion may have been suppressed, but it was never forgotten. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of India's tribal communities, who fought not for power or riches, but for their land, their culture, and their freedom. Their struggle laid the foundation for future tribal movements and uprisings, inspiring generations to come.
This was the story of the Kandha Rebellion. A story of resistance. A story of survival. A story that must be remembered.